Welcome to the Red Sox Alley Show. It is Tuesday, August 16th, and as always, to my left is Mr. Korn. How are you?
I'm fine.
To my right, Flanagan.
Hello,
What's
guys.
going on?
How's it
How
going?
Are you?
All
It's
right.
been a while. We haven't
Excellent.
been together since the All-Star break. Sox are in good shape, and thanks to partially the performance of Jacoby Ellsbury, he has been unbelievable this year. He's having an MVP season.
Thanks hugely to the contributing of Jacoby Ellsbury, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's.
Do we forgive him for last year? Do we have to forgive him for last
Who
year?
cares? Who cares?
I forgot about last year.
Yeah, who cares about last year?
I mean, we made such a big deal, or the media made such a big deal out of him, reading from index cards.
The media makes a big deal about everything.
You think so?
They make a big deal about everything. 30 years ago, no one would even be talking about how long he was out, or they just focus on all kinds of.
And I think the type of injury he had isn't one that shows itself.
Right.
Right? You don't wear a cast. You're not limping.
Broken ribs affect everything. Affects your breathing. You move.
Affects
we
sneezing.
don't.
Imagine
Yeah.
try sneezing with broken ribs.
I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
Look at the way he's playing.
I mean, he's only batting .313. Second on a team with in home runs with 21.
Is this from memory?
Yeah.
I don't see you reading anything.
No, and he has 77 RBIs.
Impressive.
So he's on pace for what? 27, 28 home runs and 100 RBIs.
100 RBIs for a leadoff hitter.
Right.
When's the last time you saw a leadoff hitter?
He leads the league in stolen bases.
Did Ichiro ever hit that many home runs?
I don't.
He was never a home run
No.
hitter. No, I don't know if he ever hit over 10 or 12.
I know Ricky Henderson used to hit home runs. I mean, he's. I'm trying to think of a leadoff hitter that can run that fast and have that much power.
Well, Johnny Damon used to hit home runs.
He started hitting home runs late in his career, though.
I don't think
he didn't hit when he was in his prime. He didn't hit.
No, he didn't hit. He
didn't this year.
No, and did he ever have? Did he ever have this many home runs? Did he ever hit like 28, 30 home runs, Damon?
I think he's at 24, 25 maybe.
Yeah.
Could be off by a couple.
Was that in Yankee Stadium?
I believe so.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Ellsbury seems to be someone on a mission. He really seems to be out to prove everyone that he can play every day.
He's done it.
He's doing everything.
He's done it. I mean, this last year's ancient history. Only the Boston media would focus on broken ribs last year when a guy's batting .313 with 27 home runs and 77 RBIs and leading the league in stolen bases. What do you think?
Well, I've heard the media say, you know what, maybe it wasn't such a big deal after all, but they made it a big deal.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
They made it a big deal.
Yeah.
I
I think what everybody got irritated with, he wasn't with his teammates. Didn't he go home for a long time?
Yeah, he went to Arizona to API to do some working out, and
Yeah.
he could have been with the team.
Well, it looks like it worked out fine.
Yeah, whatever he did, it worked because he is outproducing any leadoff hitter I can think of in recent times.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So let me ask you something, Corn. We've talked a lot about the umpires throwing players out, having short fuses, being absolutely ridiculous. But you pointed out the other day when we were talking that Francona gets thrown out a lot. and the question that comes to my mind, does he overdo it? Does he come out of the dugout too often to argue things just for the sake of arguing? Is that why he gets thrown out so often?
You get the feeling every once in a while he wants to get thrown out, don't you? He just wants to be sticking up for his players, and he just goes out there. He's going to let this guy have it till he throws him out.
I mean, the other day, there was that play at the plate.
Did you hear what he said? Well, no, go ahead.
Well, there was a play at the plate, and I wasn't watching the game at the time, but apparently it was for the other team. It wasn't for the Red Sox at home plate, right?
Right.
And they called them safe.
No, it was for the Red Sox.
It was for
at
the Red
home.
Sox.
Yep.
Ellsbury.
Yep.
Ellsbury.
Ellsbury was sliding into.
They called them safe.
He called him safe, and this is the part I don't understand. Other umpires overruled it. I don't understand that.
So they overruled it.
So then they called them out. So if the umpires overruled it and got it right, Francona comes out of the dugout and gets thrown out. But if the situation were reversed and they got it right, obviously he would have been fine with it. If the play went the Red Sox favor. So
right.
if he expects the umpires to get it right and ask for help from each other, and that happens, as you really have a leg to stand on, on this particular play where it was clear that the runner.
Oh, no.
Well, go say what he said.
No, he was frustrated because they overturned the call and his guy was out. That's why he was mad.
But what if it ended up being the right call?
Of course he wouldn't have argued.
But didn't
I heard-
wasn't it the right call?
It was the right call.
It was the right call.
Yeah, but
So
the
why-
fact that he got overruled
But
by
he's always asking
the
the umpires.
umpires that weren't there.
But he's always asking umpires to get help, and now they get help on a play, and unfortunately, it doesn't go the Red Sox way.
But the
And he
guy's
comes out.
right there. That's what he's mad at. Is wait, you're right there. You didn't see the play. You called him safe, and you got these other two guys that call him out. I think that's why.
Right. I heard he said it was the dumbest effing call he ever effing saw in his effing, and that's why they threw him out. I mean, he
Went out there. And
he went out there. He was he got frustrated because his guy was safe and then he was out, and then he
Yeah.
decided to get thrown out.
He actually told the umpire, "I'm not leaving here until you throw me out."
Yeah.
He
He said, "By the time we're done with this conversation, I'm going to be thrown out, and I'm not leaving till I'm thrown out." That was the story on it.
Now, even Red Auerbach didn't say that to referees. He would yell and scream and scream and scream until he got thrown out.
Right.
But he would not
No,
tell
he
the
went
umpire,
out
"Here's
there.
what I'm going to do."
Yeah, he went out there and said, "I'm yelling at you until I'm coming out here. I'm only out of here when I get thrown out, and I'm gonna stay here until I get thrown
Well,
out."
he had the right words evidently because he told the umpire what he thought. You know.
Yeah.
Jerry Remy was talking about that one night. He said in the old days when he was playing, you only got thrown out if you said the word "you." They used to yell and scream, and every umpire would ignore him, but he didn't say "you." So I guess
Yeah.
Francona made sure he,
Wasn't there
Whatever.
some other word prior to you?
Yeah, probably.
Well, yeah.
But if you didn't say "you," then you're fine.
Yeah,
You were just saying it in frustration.
right.
So I guess Francona's issue is that if
His
the
guy was
umpire-
out.
If they don't get it right the first time, even if they end up getting it right the second, if it goes against you, argue until you get thrown out.
Okay, here's my question though: why did evidently an umpire can overrule another umpire?
Yes.
Why didn't the other umpires overrule that kid that threw the perfect game?
Good point.
What's going on here?
Why didn't they? You mean the Galarraga
Mm-hmm.
supposed no-hitter?
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I have
Because
never.
if he was the right umpire in the right position to make the call, so was the home plate umpire that we're talking about.
Good point.
Unless it was so obvious that he was wrong. I mean, Ellsbury was out by a mile.
Yeah.
Or Sella was saying he must have dropped the ball or something and picked it up, or they were looking at.
And he was down for a while.
Yeah.
So
Well, was the Galarraga almost no-hitter? Was that as obvious unless you looked at replay?
no, I think that was close, but I think in that situation a close would go. I think in that situation it usually goes to the runner, right?
Well, if it's a tie.
Right.
If it
But,
looks like a tie.
I don't know.
Which
In
I
that
think
situation-
is what that's what Jeff Joyce thought.
Yeah.
I mean, the only time I ever saw, I never saw an umpire overrule another one. I mean, I seen them have a conference.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a home run or not? And then they.
Well, but that's the replay rule.
No, I've seen them. I've seen an umpire not
Even
get a
before
good,
going to
not get a
replay.
good view of
Oh,
it,
really?
and then
Oh, like
Like it
a
hits a
foul?
catwalk or
yeah,
something.
yeah, he calls a couple umpires and they talk about. But I've never seen an umpire overrule a call. Have you?
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think-
A-Rod in the 04 playoffs, when he slapped the ball from Bronson Arroyo, they initially let him go. They initially let him go to second base, called him safe. They got together, they called him out. That's an example of a play being overturned.
Okay, so back to my question: why couldn't they overturn that perfect game?
a good point.
I'm assuming that the crew chief didn't deem it necessary. They said, well, Jeff Joyce is close enough to the play.
Yeah.
He had a good look. He made the decision. And it was a mistake. A simple mistake. Aren't mistakes okay?
Mistakes are okay.
Sure.
Simple mistakes are okay.
An umpire making a mistake's no different
It's
than
part of the
a
game.
shortstop making a throwing error. I don't
It's
see
part
any
of the
difference.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when an umpire throws a player out. That's when he changes he changes the whole game.
Well, if you
changes
look
the
at
outcome of
that-
the game.
Yeah, if you look at it, look at Pittsburgh Pirates season. I think they took that really to heart. That 19-inning game where they lost. There was a play at the plate. That,
And who was the runner?
yeah, who was the runner?
Julio Lugo.
No kidding.
So now they went on to lose 9 or
Yeah.
10 straight,
Oh, yeah,
and they're out of it now.
They're
I
out
mean,
of
they
it.
totally. I don't know if that messed with their psyche, or something, but that changed their season.
Yeah.
The most expensive guy in a team probably makes $3 million, $3.5 million, or something like that. It's because they don't have the experience. I think that killed them.
Mm-hmm. And the teams that don't have the experience, sometimes ignorance is bliss, and they can have
Right.
that spark where they just get on a roll and they're just almost winning, not thinking about it, just
Right.
moving forward, just keep winning, and that can happen too.
But you guys agree that the umpires definitely do not have the integrity they had
Sure.
at one time, whether it be either just maybe they're scrutinized so much it drives them nuts, or whether it's they're being showed up by guys making $20 million. I don't know what it is.
Well,
but
anything that you
they
do
are,
to
they do not have the integrity they used to.
and frankly, yeah, they're scrutinized. Anything that you can slow down to thousands of frames a second, that would be easy to call somebody out by looking at a frame.
That's what I said when I saw the Julio Lugo play, Pirates against the Braves, and a friend of mine said, "Oh, he was out, and the Pirates should have won the game, and blah blah blah." And I said to him, "How many times did you have to watch that replay online
Right.
to determine whether he was safe
In
or out?
slow
And-
motion.
And how many angles?" He said, "Oh, about 6." And I go, "Were you convinced without a doubt that he was out?" And the answer was no. If that's the case,
Now do that real
how can-
time.
and then some idiots are issuing death threats against the umpire.
Right,
Yeah.
and
Come
his
on,
family, and
you got to
that's just-
watch it
it's-
in, like you
it's
said,
insane.
slow mo, 3 different angles over and
Or you
I
have a
watch
K
it-
zone, whatever that is, to say, he had a strikeout, he's being squeezed.
Yeah. They were showing. Evidently they were showing a little biography about Yaz this afternoon on Nesson.
Mhm.
I didn't see it, but I was just thinking. Back in those days, you wouldn't know about it if there was a 19-inning game that umpire blew a call. You wouldn't know about it. People wouldn't be talking about it, and it wouldn't be on YouTube 2 weeks later.
Yeah, or MLB.com.
Somebody would have said the Tigers, the Pirates lost last night.
On a tight play at the plate.
Yeah, and it would have been over.
Yeah.
So I think we're over in
Technology has gotten ahead of the game, and I think the way we're trying to overcome it is by saying technology needs to be in the game, and I think you keep the humans. I think the obvious stuff like we've done with home runs and stuff, that's more about a sight distance thing. It's not a bang bang play.
Mhm.
Bang bang play, it could go either way.
Yeah.
And it should
Right?
go, and it's going to go either way. It's going to
Yeah,
happen.
I
where-
mean, it's not an umpire mistake is no different than a player making a throwing error. I mean, it just happens. It's
Yeah.
going to happen. It's probably going to happen tonight. Somebody's going to call a ball when it's
And
really a
hopefully
strike.
it happens less to you than to your opponent.
That's right.
exactly.
Remember that they showed a film of the 1970. It was the 40th anniversary of the 1971 All-Star game. There were about 20 Hall of Famers on between the two. They showed Jackson hitting probably one of the longest home runs ever hit. Before steroids. Before they. But they said the wind was going like 30 miles an hour out into right field. And it was like a 600-foot home run. What if the wind was blowing in?
Yeah.
It might have been just gone into the first row of the. So as part of the game, the
In
human
other
element
words,
is
right.
the human
Environmental
element,
factors,
the
and
wind, the
and
environmental.
human
The ball
factor,
bounced in a
yeah.
certain way. That's all part. That's part of it. You take that away, you don't have baseball anymore.
Yep, exactly.
It's just an it's just an electric game.
Yeah,
You
might as well
you
play it on
Yeah.
MLB
Yeah.
2011 on
That's right.
Nintendo or
Yeah.
something.
So the only problem I have is when the umpires start throwing people out because they're yelling at them. Except for a case like Francona, he wanted to get thrown out.
It's calculated.
I think it's part of it is to rile up his team,
Right.
possibly,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Well, we're going to conclude the video portion of our show.
Thank
In
God.
case you didn't know, this part of our show is on YouTube, and we're going to continue with the audio portion on iTunes and our website and Facebook and just about any other social media property you can find Red Sox Alley on. So we will be right back.